Happy New Year! Happy 2023. It's your girl S to the C Scorpio, S to the C Twerk Goddess. And I wanted to talk to you all about something very serious that we don't really address many times. And that's men's health. So a lot of times on my channel, I talk about mental health and wellness and well-being and stuff like that. But we don't really focus on the men. And so, just me doing some research and reading and just observing things over the holidays, I said, I need to tap on this because this is a very serious issue that not only affects men, but it also affects women and it affects children. So in dealing with men's health, a lot of times, especially in the Black community, men don't like to go to the doctor. Men don't like to go to talk to therapists. And, I feel like there's pressure from society that men have it all figured out. They're supposed to be macho. They can't cry. If they cry, they're being emotional or they're being weak. And that's not fair because they're human and they do have feelings and they do have emotions. So I just wanted to talk about some of the issues that men deal with that they don't address, and why these issues need to be addressed and the importance of addressing these issues and how these issues, if unresolved, can play out in their lives. It can play out in their relationships. So one thing, for example, I've noticed that a lot of men, whether African American or other ethnicities, they don't really have a strong bond or relationship with their mother. And we've all heard that, like, your relationship with your parent, the opposite sex parent, can determine your relationships in the future, with opposite sex partners. So if a guy had a mother that was abusive, if he had a mother that was using substances, if he had a mother that was promiscuous and dated a lot of men, that will definitely affect his perception of women. And it's unfortunate because just because his mother may have been promiscuous or abusing substances or abusive, that does not mean that all women are abusive. And so we know that, but a lot of times we don't apply that to real life. And so for men, I feel like it's easier for men to say all women are 304s, or all women are promiscuous, or just kind of belittle and down talk women because of their relationship with their mother or because of their experience with women, through observations or whether it's lived experiences. But a lot of times I just feel like men don't have a platform or don't have an outlet to express those feelings and emotions. Now, on these YouTube streets, there is a such thing as the manosphere, which I feel like a lot of those men are misguided. And, get in the comments and, speak how you feel. But honestly, I feel like a lot of men have been misguided. And a lot of men have unresolved trauma as it relates to relationships and women. And right now, at this time on the planet, is not a time for division, and some men are undercover. Some men are down low. Some men despise women and they can't stand women. And, that's fine, to each his own. However, I feel like men need to address those unresolved issues. So, for example, I was dating a guy that complained about his mother. He told me that as a child, he hated his mom. This came out later, but, he told me that he hated his mom and, his childhood was just so rough. And so in further discussing this with this guy, he had a very tumultuous life. He had a very unstable life, and he always wanted to blame women, for his downfalls and his shortcomings in life because of his mother. And he never got therapy that I know of. I stopped talking to him, but I don't think he ever got therapy for that. I don't think he, shared those experiences with other men. And if he did, it just became like a bashing party against women. So Based on his experience with his mother, they later, kind of rekindled their relationship and tried to work on, resolving some of the irreconcilable differences in their mother-son relationship. However, I noticed that he began to adopt a lot of his mom's ways. Now, just when he shared with me that, his mom was abusive and he really hated his childhood, I could see some of those behaviors carried out into his adult life. So as an adult, he was really unstable, very promiscuous, multiple different women, multiple children by different women. And so I just feel like it's something that needs to be addressed more, and people need to talk about it, because a lot of times women get accused or ridiculed for claiming that they're independent, or they don't need a man, or they could raise their sons, or whatever. And it's like, in my last video, a lot of things would be different when the Black man rise. Is like accountability, right? So I noticed that a lot of men, again, black, white, it doesn't matter, lack accountability. Not all, but some. They do lack accountability. And I feel like it's just easier to blame the woman and be like, oh, well, my mother was abusive, or, I had a traumatic childhood, as a way to kind of excuse their poor behavior. So that's something that we need to work on. Also, when we talk about men's health, it's not just like the emotional elements or like the abuse or the trauma that men have experienced, but also men don't typically go to the doctor. So I remember one friend, I was like, oh, I'm going to make my dentist appointment and I'm getting my annual physical. Do you want to, did you make your physical for the year? Did you make your dentist appointment for the year? And it was almost as if I was speaking a foreign language to this person. And I believe prior to me meeting this person that they really did not check on their physical health. Now, I know in the Black community, a lot of times, oh, we don't need doctors, or that's the white man's thing, or, they're out to get you and da-da-da-da-da. But at the same time, when other emergencies happen, or, people will go to the hospital for emergency, or, if it was a dire situation, they will go to the doctor. So I didn't see the problem with going to get your annual physical. Like, some men do not take care of their health. Some men don't go to the dentist regularly. Some men don't go to the doctor regularly. And maybe you can answer this question in the comments. Like, why do you think that some men put their health on the back burner? Like, it shouldn't take for you to be having symptoms for you to be like, okay, no, I need to go to the doctor. And so with some men, just based on observation, some men wait till like there's a dire need to go to the doctor. And they'll deal with these symptoms and these problems that they're having and try to, I guess, Google home remedies or whatever. But it's like, bruh, just go see a physician. Like, who's your primary physician? That's a good dating question. Like, ladies, if you're trying to matchmake, ask them, like, where is your primary physician? They may not know what you're talking about. Like, so I'm just making this video just to tap on it briefly and to encourage men. There's some women that, they don't care about their physical health, their, spiritual health, their mental health, and their oral health. But I've noticed is more men. A lot of times men, it's like pulling teeth. You have to tell them to go to the doctor, or you have to just ask them like, oh, when's the last time you got your physical? Now, for me, what's interesting is when I'm dating a guy and he wants to go to the next level, or we both agree to go to the next level, we're both going to the doctor. We're both pulling out our paperwork, and I did that with my ex. I was like, no, let me see your physical report. And I showed him mine, and it was all good. Everything came back clear. But it's just the whole point that if I wouldn't have asked him that, I'm not sure that he would have been able to produce the report from his physical with STD checks and, how's your cholesterol and, Is your weight equivalent to your height? Just things like that. What are you eating like? That's another thing pertaining to men's health. Some men have such a poor diet, and okay, we could say the excuse, oh, well, I don't have a woman, or I don't have someone to cook for me, but men need to learn how to be self-sufficient just as much and as well as women have to be independent. Go to work, come home, take care of the kids, cook, clean, all of that. Men need to do the same. And I don't know who raised you. I don't know who raised y'all to where it's acceptable that, oh, well, if I'm not in a relationship, I'm eating out all the time. That makes no sense. Like, guys, you have to care. And normally I don't take this approach. I just stay in a woman's place. But I just feel like it's important. I have a father. I have sons. I have cousins. I have men in my family that I care about and I love. And I don't think for the most part this video message would apply to them, but it very well may. So I just really want to share the importance of getting your physical, going to the doctor, and, talking to your doctor or a support group or somebody about the many challenges that men face. Men go through depression just as well as women go through it. Now, yes, the numbers are high for women that go through depression because they have PMS, they have postpartum depression, after they have a baby, and, the different hormonal imbalances when women go through menopause. So it's acknowledged. Yes, women go through depression and sometimes they get support. But men, we don't talk about men that go through depression. And the suicide rate amongst men is much higher. So men go through things and they suffer in silence. And so I just want to share this message with all the men that you don't have to suffer in silence. And if you don't have a support group of peers or friends or family members that you feel like you could trust and the conversations are confidential, and you can get valid information that can help change your life or, help you move into the direction of where you're thriving, then I suggest you find a support group. There's all types of online support groups, and here at Facebook, there's a community of people that may share the same interests as you. But I think it's important that not only for women to focus on their well-being and their mental health and their physical health and their oral health, because that's important too, we don't talk about that. But also for men, so I've heard men say, oh, women have it easy, and that's not true. But men, take care of yourself, take care of your physical well-being, and stop being so macho all the time. It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. You're human. You have these emotions. God gifted you with these emotions for a reason, not to have them all bottled up in, not to have them to where, you're so angry when you walk, when you're out, you're mean mugging and mad dogging people because you have internal pent up anger that you don't know how to resolve. So I encourage you to start working on some of those issues. Now, the joy and the beauty and the fun part about working on issues and challenges that you have is that it's not going to be a happy process most of the time, and it may be challenging to you at some times, but I encourage you to go through it and get through it. If you have unresolved issues with relationships, like, for example, a guy may have an issue with his mom, try to resolve those issues. Even if you don't directly deal with your mother to resolve those issues, try to internally resolve those issues, because if not, they are going to play out in other parts of your life. Trust me when I say that. So you may keep running into the same type of women. You may keep running into promiscuous women. You may keep running into women that abuse substances. You may keep running into women that want to sleep with your friends, or women that are stealing from you, or, just whatever, or just women that have this attitude of that she's the princess and you're going to pamper her and she's not going to cook or clean. I know real situations like that where, men feel stuck and they feel like they don't have a place, they don't have a voice. And that's not true. We in 2023, guys. So I would encourage you to share your voice, speak your voice, be heard, and do the inner work so that you can avoid some of these stumbling blocks that have been set up or are just part of some of the trauma that you've experienced. So until you can identify with those issues and acknowledge that, you know what, my mom was fucked up, or you know what, my grandma was fucked up, or my ex-wife was fucked up. Whoever the woman in your life was that's fucked up, acknowledge that. And then another thing, I met a guy, and because I do outreach, and I work with the community surrounding mental health and wellness. And so I am gonna open it up to where this community can join me, and we can have like a support group, or we can have like a community network that we can exchange information and share knowledge, right? And so the guy was sharing that he proposed to he saved his money, bought a ring, and proposed to this woman, and she rejected his proposal and ended up marrying somebody else. And that traumatized him to where he doesn't even date women anymore. So I'm saying all that to say that, like, issues that men deal with, they deal with them differently, and it could affect their whole life. So now he's just gone through all these different challenges because he doesn't want to date women anymore because of that one experience. So it's important to verbalize and be communicative about what you have experienced. Share that. And again, you may have friends that may not understand, or they may judge you, or try to criticize you. Those are not your people. You need to find people that are like-minded, that can help you come up with solutions to some of the challenges that you're facing. And even therapy. A lot of times Black men, or just Black people in general, they don't sign up for therapy because they feel like, oh, it's going to be a waste of time. What can a therapist tell me? Well, a therapist can tell you a lot. They can tell you ways and skills and techniques that you could use when you deal with some of these challenges. So I just wanted to stop in at the beginning of the year and share that with you all, because I want to see our men do better. I want to see our men elevate in 2023, and not just on a financial level, because a lot of times men feel like, oh, well, I'm the CEO of my company, and, I gross this much million every year, and, I take care of my kids, I pay my child support. Yeah, but how you doing mentally? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? How's your physical health? Are you dealing with diabetes? Are you dealing with high cholesterol, high blood pressure? A lot of Black men deal with high blood pressure, because of the diet. They're not exercising. And on one last note, I just want to encourage all the men, exercise. You don't have to go to the gym. You can walk around the block. You can exercise in your home, do some push-ups, some chin curls, or whatever they call it. There's things that you could do within the home, and drink water. Oh my God, men, drink water. And I'm going to leave it at that. It's your girl, S to the C Scorpio, S to the C Twerk Goddess. I'm out.